All right. Well, I just wanted to go live real quick, just chat a bit about some of the things that's been going on in this whole situation. It's been a exciting year for me. Kind of turbulent. There's been a lot of changes as far as what's been going on in my life. Um, this is the first time I am streaming from Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So on YouTube, might not be able to get to everybody and say what's up. Don't want to take up too much bandwidth. But so a year ago, I had an idea that I would grab a spirit level and take it onto an airplane to, you know, show what I knew would happen uh, concerning a way that airplanes fly over a level surface. So about, I don't know, maybe mid mid April, I had the idea, shared it with a group of people on Facebook because I was talking to some guys at work, and we were talking about flat Earth because I was kind of the guy talking about flat Earth at that point with these gentlemen, and I was explaining to my buddy Omar. I was going over some things that didn't quite make sense on a globe and some things that wouldn't work on a globe. And one of those things that I was telling him wouldn't work on a globe was spirit level. Because I mean, if a level works like, I mean, this thing can be held at a point to where the bubble's centered here where I'm at. So if I drive 200 miles or so and the bubble's still centered, I mean, you can't really tell me that gravity is the thing that determines whether or not the bubble stays in the center. So I couldn't demonstrate that at the time. So after I got off work, I had the idea. Oh, happy friend day, Rob. By the way, it's been 1 year since me and old Rob been friends. So, um, I just wanted to show what would happen or what wouldn't happen if you took a spirit level onto a plane and placed it on a tray table. So I was going to visit my daughter around that time, and I flew from Seattle, flew out to Georgia to go see her, and did the experiment on the way. So I already knew what was going on, and we hung out for 4 days. And that whole time, the whole idea was still in my head. I'd asked the folks on that group to send me some information about the what I called curvature math. The spherical trigonometry chart that shows how much curvature should take place on a globe. So they sent that to me. I got the calculations down, got the information, and decided okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the level, I'm going to put it on the plane, I'm going to face it towards the front because the plane's flying like, straight up. So it should show whether or not the nose is dipping down. I know it doesn't because I fly often, but did that, did the recorded 23 minutes, 45 seconds of level flight. And I mean, basically the whole time
while I was recording, it was, like I said in the video, it was anticlimactic. But for that whole 203 miles that was recorded, the bubble stayed centered as the plane flew over the flat plane. The airplane flew through the air over a plane. That's like why it's named that, if you give it a little thought. But I just made that video for a small group of folks on Facebook, and I always tell people that I wasn't planning on the thing going viral. I wasn't planning on articles being written, or scientific community coming after me and all that. So I just didn't see that coming. But it's cool. As a result of doing that experiment and the video going out there, life's been pretty cool lately. Over the last year, I've made a lot of new friends, had a lot of different experiences, been on call-in radio shows, interviews on Google Hangouts and all that. Spoken at conferences, done meetups and all types of stuff like that. Just getting out, meeting some really cool people, and you know, flat earthers, the true earthers, the ones who see things differently, are some of the nicest, coolest, most compassionate people that I've ever been able to hang out with. And I appreciate being able to associate with you all. I really do. So the thing is, what I've had to deal with, and how I've gotten to a point to where it doesn't really bother me so much being ridiculed, because, well, once somebody, um well, here's the thing. Oh shoot, hold on. Left the light on. So the thing is, somebody can call you an idiot face to face. Okay, that's fine. Somebody can ridicule you, call you names, one-on-one setting. But it's something totally different when somebody takes the time to write an article calling you these names, insulting your intelligence and all that, and then having people come to a video that you uploaded, and so they can ridicule you and mock you, things like that. It's been odd. But other things happen. Then these other YouTubers, people that you haven't heard of, they'll you know take that video and break down pieces of it, use your face as a thumbnail, you know talk bad about you, call you names, things like that, and say the same ridiculous things that these global believers say over and over. Gravity, man. Gravity. Yeah, okay. But it's been interesting. It's been really interesting how all this has come about, and the things that have you know happened as a result. So I've gotten a thicker skin as far as ridicule goes. So I can't really be embarrassed at this point, for the most part. Yeah, just as far as the haters, the globe lovers, doesn't really bother me. People still make videos, talking about these things. It's fine. People are still, look, the spirit level video that's like still in circulation. People to this day are still commenting on that video, calling me an idiot, and that's fine, because in this society, what I've figured out is that how sick this place is, the things that we consider to be normal in this society, the things that people say to us. These globe believers, I tell you, they are some of the meanest, nastiest, most insidious people that you can think of. Not all of them, but a vast majority, the ones who will comment these things, these vile things, these, and call us these names like, you're retard. Now, if you actually think about the definition of retard, I mean, basically, it's to delay or hold back progress. That's not really what we're doing. We're not trying to slow anything down. If anything, we're moving things right along because we actually do science. We actually um are trying to upset the status quo. And that's what science is supposed to be about. You're not supposed to be at a point where you just agree that this is what it is and everybody needs to believe this. The science is settled, they like to say. And it's just not like that. Things are being disproven all the time. The whole idea of progress is to say, okay, maybe this didn't work and then move on to something else. But that's not what these folks are about. That's not what they do. They call us crazy. They call us conspiracy theorists. They call us weirdos. They ridicule our intelligence, things like that. But it's silly. It's silly if you think about it. And that's, why. And I want to thank this lady by the name of Camilla, who gave me the right to use this design. She came up with this one, and this is my favorite meme because this just points out the whole fallacy. Okay, this is the globe believers' logic. They say that it's crazy for us to be walking straight up and down on a flat plane. That's crazy, but it's normal for people to be upside down on a spinning ball. Like, seriously, that's crazy. We all experience walking on a flat plane at a 90-degree angle. So why is it that it's so crazy? Why is it that that's just so just out there for us to even believe? Like, these are what we were born with. We're people who believe in and trust our God-given senses to tell us what reality is. When are we not supposed to trust our senses? When I mean, at what point do you do that? Do you, like, I don't know, grab something to eat, decide that it was terrible, then go back later and go grab the same terrible thing that you got before? No, you trust your sense of taste to tell you, oh, by the way, that was terrible the last time I ate it. I don't want it again. You trust your senses on that. You walk into a public bathroom, okay, and you walk in and you know that you're not gonna like that smell. So I mean, you did this before, you know what it is. You see that bathroom, you're like, I think I can hold it, because you trust your sense of smell. We trust our senses. There are things that you see. Some looks good, you're probably gonna look again. I'll leave it at that. But we trust our senses, but you're telling me that by us saying that we can walk outside and not feel the movement of the earth supposedly spinning over 1,000 miles per hour. We don't feel it. It's supposed to be moving, but we don't feel it. We trust our senses, but that's what makes us crazy. We can trust our senses in all these other things, but we can't trust our sense to detect motion. Makes no sense. Some of the crazy things that these folks say. Death threats. Not so much even death threats, but consider just some of the comments that are made. Don't reproduce. Too late. They tell you not to reproduce. There are people who say things like, when I have a meetup and I'll post a picture somewhere, somebody will say something like, oh, it's good that you all get together from time to time because it's easier to do the whole culling. Basically talking about it's easier to take out a group of us if we gather ourselves together. People leave comments on my videos saying things like, please die. Somebody did that, like, just today. Just today, somebody left a comment on one of my posts on Instagram. Please die. You're begging me to die because I don't believe in the globe. It's a little extreme, isn't it? You see, we can't sit here and pretend that that type of stuff is okay. And here's the thing: if the world were to lose us, then all that will be left was people who were okay with mass genocide. People who would say, yeah, all you guys shouldn't reproduce. You guys should, yeah, you guys should all like go out to space and never come back. Things like that. It's rather inappropriate. It's rather pathetic. You're right, Jay. But this is the stuff that these folks say because we don't see things the way that they see it. They want us to freaking die. If all of us leave, do you understand how sick the world would be? The world needs us. The world needs people who are kind and compassionate. The world needs people who are not okay with mass genocide. The world needs people who are tolerant and respectful. And that's what's wrong with these global believers. They get triggered because we don't see things the way that they see them. They don't want us to destroy their little illusions. They don't want us to burst their little egotistical bubble. They don't want us to come along and say everything that you've been told is a lie. To the very foundation of where you are. You don't even know where you are. They don't want us to tell them that. So they wish death upon us? No. No, we're not going anywhere. I'm sorry. It's not happening. We're here to stay. Our numbers are only growing. It's necessary that we're here. The world needs people like us to be here. These kind, generous flat earthers. So that's my thing. That's my thoughts on this. Just the whole idea of what these people say, the way that they conduct themselves. It's wrong. It's sick. It's kind of vile. What's up, bro? I see you. You know what I'm saying? It's just throws me off a little bit. Just throws me off. If you think about it. I mean, just think about it. Because somebody doesn't agree with what you believe, they ask you to cease to exist. That's pretty sick, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm probably gonna be wrong again. But that's just my thing, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I really do. And we have to be patient with these folks because this whole situation of waking up to the idea that you've been deceived about most everything in your life, it's a difficult thing to deal with for sure. I mean, we've all gone through these stages. But at the same time, some people take it to an extreme with the anger. I mean, come on. You can't wish death upon someone just because. I mean, come on. Just because we're not zombies, because we don't prescribe to the mainstream philosophy about the way things work, because we trust our senses. You know, at the end of the day, I think the problem might be that they want to just stay in this little shell and know that, you know, or continue on along with this indoctrination, believing that nothing matters. And that's the thing. And I wanted to kind of talk about this the other day. And I kind of got to it. And some people on all my shades are over there. I may throw them on later, but I'm not outside. I'll put the glasses back on at some point. Don't worry. But the thing is, you know, I think a lot of people are just concerned about losing their grasp on reality. Because I mean, we're cool with it. We're like, we go through these stages, and we're like, all right, you got me. That's where I was at when I first heard about this whole thing. I was like, all right, you got me. You got me. Y'all got me good, man. With the globe propaganda. I was okay. You had me, man. You had me going there for a little bit. But no, not anymore. So what we do out of our sense of compassion is, you know, we go do what any good friend would do. I mean, we know that you've been lied to if you're still believing in the globe. We know that we've been lied to. We know that we've all been lied to. So we're just telling people who don't get it yet, you know, you've been lied to also, because nobody really likes to be lied to. And all we're doing is just looking for people who, are still plugged in and saying, hey, man, have you thought about this? Not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. It is what it is, you know? So that's all. So, look, what I wanted to talk about the other day, and I kind of got into it with somebody about this earlier today, the whole idea. Now, somebody's trying to figure this whole thing out. The thing is, if you're connected to the globe model, if that's what you believe, the whole heliocentric model, then inadvertently you believe in the Big Bang. So I liken the whole experience to, or the comparison to, you're at a park. You sit down on a park bench, you look over, and you see a book sitting on the edge of that bench. You pick this book up, you see that the book has, it's got words, it's got a printing company on it, it's got letters, numbers, it's written, there are ideas in here. There's the foreword, there's, thoughts about the author, things like that. Introduction, body, stuff's falling off. If you pick up that book and you see that it has words formed in these sentences that create logical thoughts and all that, nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to pick up that book and say, yeah, I don't think this book had a publisher or an author, because that would be ridiculous for someone to think that. Obviously, the book had some sort of author. Obviously, somebody wrote it, somebody had to publish it, somebody spent their time, somebody put the ink in the presses and went through the whole process, put the little glue on the binder and bound the thing, and come on. Obviously, a book has a creator. Okay, so you're telling me that you can sit here and exist in this world and see the way that things work, the way that we can talk about the celestial bodies, we can talk about the stars in the sky, we can talk about how we know how long a year is going to be, we can calculate how how long a day is going to take, a month, a year, the seasons, weather patterns, these events up in the atmosphere, the eclipses and all that. All this stuff can be calculated in perfect fashion. Now, obviously, that stuff can't come from some random accidental explosion, obviously. But let's think about just a few of the little systems that you have in your body. We can talk about your skeletal system. Your skeletal system in itself, it's there to keep you stable. I mean, you're able to just walk around and function, and you can interact in this thing. In order to move around, you have your muscular system, and you can build your muscles, and that causes you to be able to move about just the same. And these things work in concert together. From that, in order to fuel your muscles, you have your digestive system. You have food. You intake this food, and your body knows how to break this food down and send it to where it needs to be. And if it's good, your body retains it, might store it. If it's bad, you get rid of it. Okay? You have your nervous system. I mean, you can actually feel things, for crying out loud. And, you have your skin. Think about your skin. Let's talk about skin and hair just a little bit, for a little bit. The skin on the inside of your hand, just look at that. Okay? Let's take my hand. I need to put some lotion on, but bear with me. All right, so the skin on the inside of my hand, the texture of the skin, I have my fingerprints and all that. I have my little lines in here. It's like my skin, the cells knew to create my hand to a point to where when I bend it, there are these joints, and the skin is a little more elastic right here, and I can just flex it right there. If you ever thought about that, the skin comes down, and right here, there's a line. There's literally a line that says this skin is going to stop being this way, and then the melanin's going to activate, and bam, it turns into a whole different texture. DNA figured out how to put that together. And then from the skin, you think about hair. Okay, the hair on your knuckles is more coarse than the hair on your eyebrows. The hair on your earlobes will stop growing after a while. The hair on your arms won't continue growing throughout your whole life. It's like I don't have to shave my arms. Okay. I would have to cut my hair if I felt the need to. I would have to trim my beard down. I don't, for some reason or another, my arms know when to stop growing the hair outward, and it grows in a different texture, just the same as the hair grows in a different texture here, 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 and here. But all this was programmed in your DNA. In your DNA, that is the textbook that programs how you are going to be created. It builds your whole structure. It builds all those systems in concert together. So we can acknowledge that a book, as simple as a book, we can acknowledge that that has an author. We can acknowledge that's been created. But then people say there's no God, as if all this, as if you, the way that you're built, can just come about at random. Makes absolutely no sense. And then on top of all that, we're just talking about a body. We're not even talking about consciousness. Consciousness cannot come from some random accidental explosion. That does not happen. Just the whole idea of you having emotions. Well, when somebody close to you, I don't know, ends up like in a bad situation, somebody dies, God forbid. I mean, you feel sadness when conditions are right. You can change your mind to some way or another, and you can create happiness within yourself. That that had to come from somewhere else. We've had situations where you would have a dream and you can see something happen, wake up, and then like maybe a couple days or a week or however long later, what you dreamt about actually happens in the real world. That comes from somewhere else. That's not random. That's not just something that just but some nothing exploded into everything and now there's consciousness. That doesn't make sense. Sorry, scientific community. Sorry, Big Bang theory. That's not going to work. But that's what we upset for people for the most part. They want to believe that this is all just random, that this is all some sort of an accident. And that's something like we kind of, I don't know, I guess kind of take it away from them. But it's necessary because this is reality. So just wanted to snap off on that one. I'd like to appreciate everybody for hanging out with me for this short time. Um, Listening to me ramble on about my random thoughts out here. Miss Tony, what's going on? But yeah, I'll go ahead and close this one off. Just wanted to do that quick recap, do a little rant. I appreciate you all. Please continue doing what you do as far as spreading the truth and being brave enough to speak what's true for you, regardless of what it is, because it is necessary. Even in these 12-step programs, the first step is to admit that there's a problem. And we all at this point realize that in this world that we have some problems, that there's some things that need to be addressed. So God bless you. I appreciate you. I really do. And if nobody else does, I really do. I know you all go through some things just like I do, in having to deal with people, saying mean things to you, talking bad to you, talking down to you, people who you thought were friends turning their back on you. I've dealt with the same thing. You're good people. You're just doing what good friends do. just the same, we want to tell people, hey, you've been lied to. You don't want your friends to, be deceived. None of us do. So that's all it is. That's all it is. We're just trying to be, you know, decent people in this whole situation that we got going on, this crazy situation called life, where we're all just trying to figure stuff out. No, I used to say this all the time. I'm like, man, we're just a bunch of kids trying to figure stuff out. And that's not just flat earthers. That's these globe believers also. We're all just a bunch of kids trying to figure things out. But it's okay. Things are things are progressing. Things are happening. Things are shifting in the world. Keep your eyes open. Um, I don't know. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll go ahead and cut this one off. I appreciate you. Hope you have a good night. As always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. I'll see you next time. Thank you.